turn on your notification bell. You will still get those information you are looking for.
Close with, we are not in any way related to them, both in our language, everything that we say. Now, you tell me I'm from Benin. Nobody from my village bears Oha, bear Idahosa, bear some of these name of Baseki and all that. Then I'm not from Anambra, I'm not from Igbo land, but my name is Ifeanyi Chukwuka, my name is Uche Chukwu, my name is Ifoma. I begin to ask more questions. How possible it is. Now, do you know one thing I did again? I begin to look at our historia, our ancestral heritage, things we inherited from our ancestors. Number one of the things we inherited from our ancestors is our way of worship. The way we worship our gods, the gods of our ancestors. I discovered that from Mbanke to Agbo, coming down to Akuma Azomocha to what is it called? Asaba. Before coming to Anambra, every one of us have same understanding to what it means when you mentioned that word Ikenga. Ikenga is a god of bravery, a bravery god that it is being given or is an initiated. Every strong young man that is brave is being initiated to that court. The court Ikenga, because it signifies worth, it signifies power. Then I begin to look at those things we worship as a people, the things we inherited from our forefathers. I look at what Edo's Benin people, what they worship. Edo, they have what is called Oromila, they have what is called Eshu. And they have what is called a Fa'ul and all that, and so on and so forth. Those things are not in any way found in a Canaan. So how come we are from these people without having spiritual connection with them? Because what we show you people that are of the same, you look at their value system, and you cannot throw away values you cannot talk about value without mentioning spiritual connection. These are things that shows you who these people are or whom they are related to.
This is loaded.
So
I mean, sorry. I mean, this is loaded. I'm having this vibration inside me, but I want you to continue, please.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that when you look at some of the things that people said, I used to tell you, I said, when lies stayed for a very long time without being questioned, automatically it will become truth. People from across the Niger, people from Delta State, people have actually lived in lies for so long, and nobody have been able to question the genuinity, the authenticity of this information, and for that purpose, no one was able to disprove some of this information. When we talk about values, you can't talk about the people that you say these people are one without looking at their value system. This value system is what will point to you who they really are and who is actually their real siblings, their relatives and all that. Now, number one, first things we are going to be looking at is what we inherited from our forefathers. We are talking about spiritual affiliation, things our forefathers worship that we inherited from them. Then if I as an Ekaman, I have an understanding to the terms of that Ikenga. I have an understanding to the terms of that New Yam Festival, some of our cultural heritage. And same things apply to people from Anambra. Why then will you tell me that we are not related? Now you want to tell me that we are from Benin, just as some of our people always say. I will tell you what actually happened that makes our people to believe that they are from Benin. As we proceed on this discussion, this is the research I have made, and I put it to any professor that is a professor of history, to come and make a debate with me. I have one or two questions to ask him. I'm not going to talk to you based on what was written about us by Britain or what was written about us by Portuguese. I'm going to talk to you by what I have seen as a person. As a son of the soil, I have seen things I've seen my parents do. And these are what I am looking at. Nah, man, we have a lot to discuss on this.
Honestly, I want you to know one thing. I came all the way to this place. It's a far journey. It's a risky one, but I'm here, and I'm here for you. I'm here for this history. I'm here for this connection. Thank you. So now, you are telling us that the history and the affinity, the brotherhoodness or the brotherliness between the Bo people, the Igbo people, and the Ika people is not to be questioned.
I want to tell you something where we are making mistake here. When you use the word the Igbos, you are still segregating it. You are still sidelining some people. When we use that word Igbo, it should be in general terms. In it, which I call a compound word, Igbo is a compound word. In it, you see different people. Igbo, you see Ika in Igbo, you see Kwale in Igbo, you see Aniocha in Igbo, you see Demili people in Igbo, you see Orumba people in Igbo, you see Imo people, Owerri, you see Ohaji people in Igbo, you see Egbema people in Igbo. So when you want to use that word, Igbo people, leaving some people, this is one of the biggest problems we're having here, that most of us are finding difficult to actually understand that we are one. We are one. Let me, for example, before the creation of Midwest, before the creation of Niger Delta, before the creation of Southeast, who are we? Who are we? Are you not aware that when you come to the place called Delta State, Akumazi Umocha, we have 5 villages that make up my community. We have Ishube, where I'm from. We have Obi, where we have our king. We have Oduga, we have Idumigwe. We have Ogwade. Now, when you look at these 5 communities, Oduga, now you travel down, we have our neighbor. After Akumazi Umocha, there is a community called Owerri. Then this Owerri is a place you see in Imo State as their capital. You go to Akwa Ibom, we have a local government in Akwa Ibom. Just as we have a local government in and these people are referred as the Igbo people in Akwa Ibom. Now, when you come to our place, you go to, what is it called? Kwale. We have Ibuku. You come to Anambra, we have Ibuku. Now you come to Anambra, there's a place called Okuzo. You go to Okuzo. The man that founded Okuzo, his name is Odoga, Ibu Odoga. Ibu Odoga, you come to my community, you go to Ibu, Okuzo. There's a place called Odoga, Ibu, which you have in my community as well. Then I visited that place. So many things I still want to tell you. You cannot be related with a people that you don't have a common heritage and value system with. So if you are denying that you are not together with people from Anambra as an Eka man, it simply means you are a child without an identity. If you as an Anambarian still find it difficult to understand that you have a link with the people from across the Niger, from Asaba, so on and so forth, it simply means you are a child that is lacking an understanding of his birth and his origin. So we are one. I've just told you something now. We look at our values, the food, our mode of marriage, the things we do, our mode of farming. We look at our market days. We look at our 4 market days, the things we believe, and our spiritual worship, the things we do when it had to do with spiritual worship. You discover that we are one. I made mention of something that Edo people worship, who are Benin. I am not trying to drag land, or I'm not trying to make claim now, because people have already occupied that area.
Honestly, I thank you again for taking your time, for accepting this interview section with us, and also for giving us the time, because ever since we've been here, you've been having calls, but you sacrificed it for us. Thank you. All right. The Igbo question. the Ika man is an undisputed Igbo man, right?
Yes, of course.
Now, my question is, which is why I am here today. How can we start this unification so that others, because in your own community, there are still people who believe something else, just like you said, that they are a child without a clear understanding of his identity. How do we, this Unify Igbos project, I know that you are in support of it because you've been part of it.
I have my brother, I have a plan on how to bring everybody together. The only challenge I'm having is that my business and what I do as a person have not given me that time to actually move with the speed I'm supposed to move with. How did I mean? Have a plan of bringing all the communities and the states with our cultural heritage, approaching some offices and somewhere to do men when they have to do with our culture, and are coming to Asaba or going to Aba or going to River State to host every of our community with our masquerade dance and with our cultural whatever festivity. These are a journey we need to take. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. These are journey we are going to be. And another thing again is that those of our brothers who are into movie industry still need to do a lot of work, because the reason why Igbo man is being seen, every average Igbo man is being seen as a money ritual, is because the Nollywood has helped to actually publicize Igbo man as a ritualist by doing movie of Ogwego. So if our brothers who are into movie industry can actually step up with some movies that will actually bring a kind of, translate this unity into movie, it's going to help speedily. One thing you must understand is that the scripture, if I must go by the scripture, it says, train up a child in the way he or she will grow. That when the child grows, it will be very difficult for him or her to depart from it. That is what we are suffering today. People like me, our brothers and our sisters, have been trained with false and deceptive information, and they have lived with it. Look at a child that was born 1980 or that was born after the Civil War, making him or her to believe that he's not related from the people with the people from Anambra, and the child is about 40 today with that notion. Do you think it's going to be easy for you to delete it from him or her? No. Most of our people don't even understand that the River Niger that was written in a book, that it was discovered by Mongo Park, has been there with our forefathers. But it is being taught in our schools that somebody, one Mugu from one Oibo man land, came and discovered the river from our backyard. They discovered it. So that means our fathers are blind to see that they were living with such mighty river. So these are some of the lies that has lingered for a long time. So what you're doing is another way of bringing unity. And thank God for this social media of everything. People, the information are being passed across people. Even those you have not seen are going through your content. When they listen to it, even if when they don't agree, they'll begin to ask questions. We want these things to begin to come often, so that people will begin to ask questions. At the course of asking that question, they too will begin to make discovery on their own. And when they make discovery, they will begin to run. Because somebody in same scripture, he said, if once you conceive a vision, he said, write it down, so that he who read it may run with it. So you are not writing a book now, but you are making a content. People are watching. As they keep hearing, a time will come, that spirit of unity will envelop another person. He or she will stand up from somewhere else and begin to hammer. This is one of the things we are going to do that will help us to actually bring a kind of this unification we are talking about. Our people need to be conscious of what we are doing, and we must not stop.
We must not stop. We must not stop. Okay. Now you talked about having this cultural festival that will unify Igbos. The people from Ika, the people from Ibanke, the people from Eche, the people from Aro, the people from Owerri, bringing sometime I had this Zoom program that I anchored. A man, Mr. Chejni Jeff Cliff Azubike. Yes, you know him.
I've hosted him on my program.
Okay. I mean, the man is a genius. He suggested this as a means, and coming from you again, I think it's actually a valid means. Now, how do we carry the? My question now is, how do we? Because this will be a movement by the royal fathers, the traditional rulers.
The time to do that is not yet. Is not yet time to do such. Do you know why? The journey we are into is still a premature. We need to have a certain number of men and women who have an understanding to this cause before we begin to run with that project. If not, we'll fail on the way. We still need to push more further, because I've watched most of your videos. Somebody bearing Azubike telling you that he's not an Igbo man. Somebody bearing Isioma telling you that. But what if you are not an Igbo man? Why bearing that name? Everything about your culture and your tradition talks about. Do you know that one thing you must understand? Two things affected people from across the river, my people. There are two methodologies that has kept our people away from their siblings and their brothers, from their relatives. One is what happened to them during the reign of the Oba of Benin, because our people was actually conquered. They were actually conquered, but I know out of shame and out of ego, most of our people will not admit it now, but we were actually conquered. But most of the people you see from Ikala who claim they are from Benin, you look at their lineage. Somebody suggested we'll go into DNA. I say if we do it, it will be shocking. The revelation that will be coming out, because the truth is it. The communities you see in Delta State, the one you mentioned, Umulede. Umu is not a Benin language. You know what it means? Umu is an Igbo word. Akumazu Mochako is not a Edo language. Owere is not a Edo language. We talked about some of the community. Agbo. We are talking about what is Agbo. Agbo is not the original. It was corrupt. When we talk about Benin, people has a word called Igbo. Igbo means slave. Now, when you begin to look at what happened during the reign, before the fall of Benin Empire, when Benin was Benin was one of the civilized empire that was doing serious business with foreigners, Portuguese and all that. It was during then that Oba Benin began to stretch and expand his tent. Expand his tent to the point that every community he conquered, he had to install a monarchy system that will be giving him reports on the day-to-day activities of that. I will tell you, it is even documented. Our people actually rebelled against the Obas and the Portuguese and the what is it called? The British. Then, so when our people began to suffer that, most of the kings, and that is why you see some communities in our village, you see some families that has Benin name. But out of 20 families, you see one or two families that has Benin name. So you cannot tell me that minority can overwhelm or can over a true what is all the majority. The majority are the Igbos. So that is one factor that affected our people. The second factor is that after the Civil War, our people wanted to, run with the state, with Nigeria government, by denying their affiliation with the people from across the Niger. But up to this moment, our people, what made them to deny their people have not been even given to them. They are still being marginalized alongside with their people that they denied. It was after the war that even those from River State, those from Delta State, denied their identity because of their selfish gain. Even that which they desire to gain, they never had anyone up to this moment. So this is some of the factors. And immediately after the war, history was dropped. That was when they said, okay, we are not going to be teaching Igbo language anymore. Let us develop a language which we call a Ka language. Now reintroduce a Ka language into the system. Because Those who did that, they didn't do that to help the Ika people. They did that to actually make us remain irrelevant in the society, because we are irrelevant. It doesn't matter how much you own. It doesn't matter the bigger, those that owns, that has money in the land. As far as the land, as far as Igbo land is concerned, we are irrelevant in Nigeria. Do you know what they did? That was the magic that Britain did, that our people are yet to understand. They did that to actually keep us in a little fragment, political, so that we will not have what is called political will. Our strength will not be loud to withstand what is happening today. I want to tell you what we are suffering today as far as Nigeria is concerned. If the Cars and the Ochas, Kwales and the Omambala people and the Oyi people and Ebema people, Haji people and Narochiku people and what is it called? Abakeleke people, Ndoki people, if they are to be together with one voice, Nigeria can't be treating us the way they are treating us today. We are not just uniting our people because we want our people, we want to unite our people for uniting. Say no, we want our original identity to be fully restored back, so that we can get our dignity and dignity back. We've lost it. We've lost it.
Wow, thank you. I mean, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kainebi.
You're welcome.
Right now, we'll be drawing closer to this particular interview section. But before we leave, before we go, what message do you have for other Igbos who are still in self-denial, who are still denying their identity?
Now, what we are suffering today as an Igbo race is what the Jewish actually suffered in their own time. You know, Jews were massacred during the First and Second World War because they were scattered all over the places. They don't have a place to call home. Their unity were in doubt, not until of late now that all the Jews, those in America, those in Germany, are now beginning to return back home. What I want to say or tell my people, we have Igbos in Edo State, we have Igbos in Benue, we have Igbos in Kogi, Lokoja, we have Igbos in Delta, we have Igbos that are in Enugu, we have Igbos in Anambra, we have Igbos in Imo State, we have Igbos in Ebonyi, we have Igbos in Enugu State, we have Igbos in Cross River and what is it called, River State and Akwa Ibom. What I'm saying to every one of you is that every one of you are scattered at home and abroad, and without having a place to call a home. My plea to every one of us is that let us begin to think home. Thinking home doesn't mean that those in Delta State should pack their packages and come to Anambra. Or thinking home doesn't mean that those in Enugu should leave Enugu to River State, or those in River State should leave River State to Anambra State. No, that is not what I mean. What I mean is that we should begin to think home and see how we can come together as a people, because that is who we are from origin. The word Bo means the ancient people. We are not people of yesterday. We are not people of today. We are people of the old. We are built into existence. So when we begin to look at when civilization begin to come into our society today, changes that we are accepting now are changes we ought not to accept. Because these changes have actually divided us more than we need it. The changes we are seeing today has actually divided us more than we need it. So people from the Igbos in Benue should think home by reuniting with their families. The Igbos in Anambra should think home by reuniting with their family. The Igbos in Rivers, Cross River, Bayelsa, the ones in Akwa Ibom, should think home by reuniting with their brothers. We need to, you begin to understand that when we are one, politically, our will will be very strong. Every statement we will make will be very loud. These are some of the strategies that the enemies are succeeded with. This is the work of, what is it called, Britain. Because when they came to this side of the world, they discovered that these people are very intelligent. And the only way to keep them unproductive, the only way to keep them, is to make sure we divide these people. And they tried. And they succeeded by dividing, making us see each other as not being the same. And this is one of the major problems we are facing today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, beautiful people. This is the Namen TV show. And it's your boy again, the XDT and WAPE, the extra talented young progressive entrepreneur, the RAB refinable boy, SBGC Street Boy Gone Classic, and I'm repping the Namen TV. Well, I have just interviewed Mr. Kainebi. He has been a very huge proponent in the Unified Igbos project, and he runs a program, Ekanibo. That was where I saw him. I saw his programs, and it was so educative, and I followed up. Well, it's still the Unified Igbos Now project. All I'm asking for, if you appreciate what we're doing, if you appreciate it, and you want it to go further, you are passionate like we are to unify Igbos, to have one voice in order to control and determine our destiny. Please support the Unified Igbos Now project. Support the Namen TV. Support us with your likes, shares, and comments. You can also donate stars. Also, our account number is out there. You can donate. You can donate money so that we can be able to travel places, meet the people that are supposed to be meet, have discussions one-on-one, have a timetable, have something tangible to prove that definitely we are ready to unify our brothers from across the Niger, in the Niger, and everywhere. You are in Kogi, you are in Benue, you are in Bayelsa, you are in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Delta, and every other place that you find yourself. It's your home, but let's think home. Let's think our identity, the Igbo. Thank you, and God bless.